child, that your skin can bring you so much pain. Now I hear you say, you got the best of both ways. Won't you come and take a walk in my shoes and tell me if you take my place? Under cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Under cover of my skin, I've heard all your names. If it's all the same, I'll keep on walking. Who'da stayed hung up? Who'da been knocked down? But here I stand, a man whose roots he understands, and I'm gonna hold my head up high. I was told as a young man, doesn't matter if you're white or black.
Welcome to the Inside Running Daily podcast. It's Saturday, the 10th of August, 2024, and we are fresh off watching the Olympic men's marathon finish about 10 minutes ago. I'm joined by three superstars of Australian distance running and people that have strong opinions on marathoning. Cannot wait to pick their brains for the next, at least the next 15, 20 minutes on the men's marathon. And then we'll get to everything else that we need to talk about and preview over the next 24 hours. Welcome to my regular co-host, Julian Spence. How are you going?
Yeah, good, mate. That was a fun watch. Just then.
Was. I feel like really up and about, and then it feels a bit weird trying to now get all the emotions out. Our other co-host tonight, he was the previous 10,000 meter record holder in Australia and has a bit of experience over the marathon. Ben St. Lawrence, how are you tonight?
Yeah, good, thanks. Looking forward to unpacking what we just saw.
Yeah, you're going to have some good opinions, I'm sure. And our other co-host, she went to the Olympics for the 2020, even though it happened in 2021 marathon. Ellie Pashley, how are you tonight?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Brady. Just recovering from watching those hills.
Yeah, where do we start? And listeners, I want to know, the text line's open there on the right-hand side. I think you do have to log into YouTube to contribute to the comments there, but I would love to see some comments. First up, Dale, brutal, Tola, terrific. Mel, did not see that coming. First one to you, Moose. Did you think the course was going to be as brutal as it was?
No, I didn't. There's only so much you can take from a profile. You can see lines and numbers, but until you see someone actually on the streets, and even not in person would have been much worse, I think, to see that. But on TV it dulls it down. But you could see just the carnage. Not so much the first pack. I think those guys really attacked it, but it was that second pack and then the third pack, the stragglers, where it looked like a Sunday long run with the back of the pack, like the 3-hour marathoners trying to keep up with the 2-hour 20 marathoners. That's what it looked like back there. It was brutal.
Yeah. What kind of pace do you think they were running up that hill? Like, it looks slow, and these are obviously the best in the world.
I reckon Tola probably put like 2 minutes into some of them, and he ran, was it 15:05 or something? Was it for that initial 5K? And then someone mute Ali, would you?
I've got a dog and a toddler.
I'll mute you, Ali. Good luck with that. We'll keep talking.
Yeah, it was 15:04.
15:04. Yeah, I reckon he probably could a couple of minutes into that there. So yeah, it was impressive stuff from Tola.
Yeah, and he looked super strong. And then I think it was 14:04 off the hill from 30 to 35?
I missed that split.
I think
Yeah,
it
I
was.
missed it too.
Like majority downhill, but even Benny, what about you with the course? Like, did you think the up was going to be so hard, and even the down? Like, there was some footage there of Connor Mance, the American, literally hammering down that hill.
Yeah, well, I mean, the people I watched it with are some friends nearby, and they live right at the start of a very hilly run that we do here in the Blue Mountains, and it's an 18K run that has about the same elevation gain as what that marathon had. But that marathon had it in that, was it a 16K block, most of the hills? And so I know how steep those hills are on that run we do regularly. And to picture that in the middle of an Olympic marathon with guys, running 15:04 over those hills, we watched Tola do it, and he made it look somewhat easy. But if Tola's making that look hard, remember how easy the Africans made the course at Bathurst look? They made it look like that was flat. So if even Tola's looking like he's rough running up those hills a little bit, then so I had in mind how hard it was going to be, but then still seeing it unfold was something to behold. And I think we should have more hilly courses and no pacemakers and just let everyone go out there and race and see what happens. Like, that was awesome.
Well, you're a bit
Benny,
older
Benny, when you do that long run, someone sort of attacks it and maybe they run 4-minute pace up that hill. It spits out at like gap, the gradient adjusted pace, 3:10. What do you reckon that 15:05 would be for Tola going up that gradient?
As a guess, and there was some down in that 5K as well, wasn't there? So, but some of those ups, he'd be hitting 240s or something in gap. I don't know. Like it, I'm really interested. We're obviously doing this straight afterwards, so we haven't had a chance to look into any of those stats. But it would be really interesting. He's probably not on Strava, unfortunately, but I'm sure someone's going to be on Strava, and we can have a look at what gap says for some of those sections. But we did see some people just in the background of those shots. Looked like they were walking up those hills.
Yeah, Connor Mance is usually on Strava, so I'm looking forward to check. I think he's gone off the last couple of weeks in the lead up. And who's his training partner? Clayton Young. Yeah, he usually is pretty active on Strava as well. So looking forward to seeing some of those stats. Ellie, you're got a couple of mates race tomorrow. Surely that makes their race a bit, I don't want to say easier, but they've got a bit of an advantage knowing what's going to happen now, what the course looks like.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think a lot of the athletes had gone and actually run on the course before, which I feel like that's a huge advantage on that. I mean, what it looked like, you guys might have said this before, I might have missed it, but with how bad it looked, you could only imagine that in real life it's way worse. Hopefully watching that and getting a bit of a gauge of how much they slowed on the hills, and the added difficulty for the women is that it's going to be warmer, and I think even just a few degrees is going to be exponentially harder on that kind of course. So I'm sure they're pretty nervous after watching that race today, knowing that it's going to be a bit hotter again for them tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't feel we have to recap the race, K by K. I think everyone who's watching this or listening to us over the next 24 hours would have sat down for 2.5 hours and watched all that footage. But some of the big Australian results, Pat was 24th in 2:10.34. Andy was 45th in 2:12.58. Liam 49th, 2:13.33. Moose, I know they just crossed the line 25 minutes ago, but what are your initial thoughts with those results?
I just had a look at the splits. All of them ran pretty well. Pat Tiernan looks like he's negative split that race, which is, there's a big downhill, but there's also the big uphills in that second half. So pretty incredible run, I think, from Pat to come 24th. We didn't see a lot of him, but Andy, also not a negative split, I don't think, but very close to, was impressive as well. Being able to do that in the Olympics takes a lot of maturity and holding your nerve early, especially when that pack started to break at about maybe the 10K mark without getting caught up in it, especially because it's only the 10K mark and you've run slowly, and that pace wouldn't have hurt you to go with that pack. Both of them, I think, made great decisions. I think Liam still ran really well too, 49th, nothing to sneer at. Probably not satisfied in his own mind, but I think that's a really strong showing from the Australians.
Do we know what the time by an Aussie male at an Olympics is in the past?
That's a good question, Benny. Any listeners want to get on their keyboards in the live chat here? I'd love to get that kind of intel.
It'd be close. It'd be close, wouldn't it? 34 seconds. We know no one's gone under 2:10, so there's a small margin there. Yeah.
Even Andy, getting thrown onto a course like that with how much was it 3 weeks notice? Was roughly?
Yeah, I reckon I jogged with him last Sunday, 3 weeks Sunday tomorrow. And
and then he found out during that week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
18 days.
The preparation required for a course like that, and the heat, like he's done so well. Getting thrown in, like doing a sort of half marathon block, not really. Like obviously his long runs are probably fairly conducive to this sort of course anyway.